The finish line is in sight. Crawl if you must. Some folks talk about it. Others, like my guest Sean Welsh, live it. Sean, welcome to KUSI. Set the scene of that piece of video. That was 1997, right?
Yeah, 20 years ago.
You were the second crawler.
Yes.
Explain what happened.
Yeah, it was at the very end of the Hawaiian Ironman in Kona, the World Championships, and it's an Ironman race, so it's a 2.5 mile swim, 112-mile bike ride, and a marathon. So it was the last few hundred meters.
You've been out there for how many hours?
9 hours plus.
So, and the body shuts down. You know, most of us have governors that will never ever. We talk about hitting the wall. Basically, we get hungry. You not only hit the wall, you hit it at terminal speed and kept going. Does that scare you that your mind can push your body beyond its capabilities?
Well, I think when you look at things like this happening, it's usually at the elite level. It would be really hard to push yourself as a age group athlete doing something for fun at this level, you know. And so it didn't scare me. I entered a race, and about 6 months later, went to win my first Ironman in Australia. So it kind of gave me some...
So you went right back at it.
Yeah.
You know, your accomplishments as an athlete are great, and that alone is, you know, put you up on a pedestal. But it's what you're doing now after your career that is why you're sitting here. And first of all, give us a little background as far as, tell us about your mom.
Well, my mom started a company. She was a nurse and great RN, and saw a big gap in the system with spinal cord injured people who, back in 1982, I was in high school, that they would go home and there wasn't a lot of success after a year or 2 years. They were becoming dependent on their situations at home or falling into facilities and at a young age. So
your mom's cause, which you were indoctrinated to, you had roommates.
Yeah, by the time I graduated, we moved in when I went in 9th grade, and by the time I graduated going to college, I had 4 quadriplegic, ventilator dependent as roommates.
So we've established your mom's an angel. We're establishing you're an angel. So you created a nonprofit after your racing career, Freedom to Live. Well, I think we're going to look at some of the pictures of the website. Tell us what this is all about.
Well, my mom actually created it in 1993, but she was very busy doing a lot of other things, and so I took over in 2011, and I had a first donor give me quite a large donation that I was able to go and lease my first property and be able to take people out of facilities that didn't want to be there and live in the community and find their independence.
Freedom Lives, the title it's all in the title, right? I mean, basically, you're going to have to be dependent on a human being, and you have to learn how to work together with a caregiver, are you not?
Yeah, I think that's the greatest challenge for any disabled person, physically disabled, is they're always going to have somebody that has to do their daily care and their needs that you and I, we just take it for granted that we can do that ourselves.
So to bring this full circle, the reason why we started in Kona, that you were 31 years of age, you're coming up on your 20-year anniversary of that moment, what has now become the signature moment of your life. Probably the signature moment of the whole sport. But now you have this other passion. You had this passion. You combine the passions. Tell us why you went back to Kona and what you did.
I went back to Kona because I truly believe it was a platform for me. As an athlete, people put you up on a pedestal. And so I was able to say, look, you know, the persistence, the determination that I showed that day 20 years ago, it's kind of what I see every day, every single day when the guys that I work with at Freedom to Live, they persist and they have that kind of do everything they can to make sure that they get back into life. And I wanted to tell people about that story, and this was a good way for me to do it.
How hard was it to train? You've been out of the sport. How hard was it is there a big difference between training to win and training just to have a respectable finish?
Yeah, there's a big difference, but also we have jobs, I have kids, a husband, and I have I have very little time compared to what I had. That's right, but I loved it. I just called my old friends, they're still running and biking, and I was able to just to join in, and I really enjoyed it.
So, all right, so you got this give us just an idea, what's a crash course training session like? What do you do?
Well, I got my bike in January, and my first ride was about 65 miles, and my husband goes, what? You haven't ridden in 12 years. And it was like, you know, it just comes back quick.
You bring up your husband. He was an icon in the sport as well. So you guys were both professional at the same time.
Yep.
His career was cut short
Yeah.
because of a cardio situation, a very serious heart condition. How hard was it when he got out of the sport? Was it easy for you to make your decision to get out of the sport too?
Yeah, you know, we met doing the sport, and so when he retired early, it was like it just wasn't the same. So I retired a few months after him, and you know, it is sort of seeing somebody with any kind of catastrophic injury or illness or whatever changes your life, something that you had no idea it was going to go that way. There is a time period that you go through, and you know, so I guess we went through that as athletes and as couple.
Different, but
yeah.
still the same sense of loss, right?
Exactly. There is a sense of loss, and so you know we all have those things in life, and it so happens that my purpose is to continue what my mom started, and it's for spinal cord injured people to keep going in life.
What do great endurance athletes have in common?
What?
What do you all? What's the one trait you all share? Is it just mental toughness?
No, I think having fun too. You know, we're all crazy. I think there's a bit of obsession. I would say obsessive.
Okay, and then all right. So then, talking to the people who are out there who are maybe you just were a college kid at San Diego State and said,
Right.
"Hey, I want to get into shape," and then you
Yeah.
became one of the best at your sport. So, what's your advice to people who are just maybe dabbling in endurance sports?
Well, I say just enjoy it. Don't overtrain. Enjoy the whole journey, and then when you get to the race, just put it on the line, but you know, let it happen. And you really need to enjoy what you're doing, and triathlon is one of the best sports out there to do that.
I was driving in and I was listening to Robert Plant. He was on the Howard Stern show, and I was listening to, and I knew I was going to be talking to you. I put together this video for you. This is Led Zeppelin, their last album. Go ahead, roll it.
Love Led Zeppelin.
Robert Platt. He said, before we go, you have a golf tournament coming up, a Halloween golf tournament fundraiser. How do people help you out?
Well, our tournament is this Monday, the 30th. We've still got a few spots, so our goal is to sell out. So go on our website, freedomtolive.org, and also you can donate to my campaign, which is you just text the word Kona to 41444, and it's a real simple way of donating to this campaign for the Ironman.
This is our first chat, but I think it will not be our last. You have
I
a
hope
friend
so.
at KUSI whenever you want us to help out.